What's going on, Jerome's? Take a look at another mock draft, and I always look forward to when Cynthia Frelund, NFL Network analytics specialist at the network, puts out her mock draft, where there's always a bunch of pushback, right? Because analytics, math-driven people, the general NFL fans, like, we don't like math. No, math, no, because it deviates from our perspective, right? But new ideas. Free your mind, the rest will follow. So Cynthia Frelund, so she explains what she did here. I'm not attempting to predict or divine what teams will actually do on draft day. It's for the model. The model. I use my draft model to explain the top of the article. Blah, blah, blah. For this particular file, the model considered current roosters, the overall market, potential free agents, 2021 draft prospects. How exactly? Well, here's how my mock works. Blah, blah, blah. Lots of reading. Again, math, reading, not my strong suit, even though #Asian. So we'll dive in. But it sort of settles. We'll just dive on in. Number one, Trevor Lawrence. Hey, the math got that one right too. Two, the Jets. So they pass on quarterback. Everyone, their mom has them taking Zach Wilson no matter what. The pride of BYU. Sure. But can you ever really go wrong taking the best offensive lineman in the draft? So Penei Sewell especially potentially has the potential to be a generational guy. And if you are going to build around Sam Darnold, or somehow you get Deshaun Watson and don't have to give up the number 2 overall pick, which is unlikely, getting Penei Sewell at this spot, sure, I get it. 3, the Dolphins, and maybe they go quarterback here. This is a prime trade down spot. There aren't trades in this mock. But if the Dolphins stick and pick Jamar Chase, if we're going to try and give Tua the best possible opportunity to win in 2021 and show that he's going to be the guy, getting him an awesome outside receiver like Jamar Chase is going to fit that bill. 4, so here we go. Kwity Paye. This is the highest I've seen Kwity Paye. Well, early on, we saw with the Falcons before Arthur Smith got there, it's like, okay, so maybe they go edge because Vic Beasley didn't work out, Tack McKinley didn't work out, so maybe they do go edge in this spot. But Kwity Paye, no matter what. Now, part of it is he's an absolute physical freak. Like at Michigan's Pro Day at the end of this month, he's going to just completely destroy and rip out hearts and gouge out eyes. It's going to be really fun to see. But he does, they remark that he does need better coaching. If he gets that in Atlanta, like he can be a hunter. Plus, she also notes the quarterbacks in the AFC South. Yeah, putting pressure on the other guy's QB, going to be important. 5, so the Bengals miss out on Penei Sewell. They miss out on Jamar Chase, but they still get a great offensive lineman, great player in Sean Slater, who was an opt-out in 2020. I would plop him in at left tackle and move Jonah and then move on with life. 6, so the Eagles. I don't see the Eagles passing on quarterback, where they might not be sold on Hurts. And if you have a player that you think could be better than Jalen Hurts, I think you should take him here. So they pass on Zach Wilson, they pass on Justin Fields and Trey Lance, but they take Kyle Pitts, where they're probably going to cut Zach Ertz. And Dallas Goedert, are they going to resign him? Probably not. So Kyle Pitts coming in, could be a tight end, could be a wide receiver, can do all those things. And just getting Jalen Hurts as many weapons as possible. So you got Kyle Pitts, you got Travis Fulgham, you have Jalen Reagor, so you're going to be good there. Well, you think you're going to be good, but you're still the Eagles. 7, so Lions, they're going to pass on Zach Wilson. I don't see it, but for that, we thank you, and that's why you're always going to be the Lions. But Brad Holmes, first draft, getting Micah Parsons, where Lions have a full rebuild. They could go Jalen Waddle, they could go Devontae Smith, getting some weapons for Jared Goff, but just getting the best available defensive player, Micah Parsons, I get it. I understand it. 8, so the Panthers, I mean, if you're Carolina, like, who do you thank? Like, you got to thank all of your lucky stars in that the draft broke this way, and you get Zach Wilson. You don't have to trade up. You don't have to give up draft capital, and you still get your guy. Wow. And you retain the horrible contract of Christian McCaffrey. Ostensibly, you probably do something with Teddy's contract. Maybe you trade him. Maybe you just cut him and eat that dead cap. But Zach Wilson, if they keep Curtis Samuel, you have an awesome set of wide receivers. Maybe they re-sign Taylor Moton, row the boat, and they keep that offensive line together. So, wow. Zach Wilson, Joe Brady, let's go, son. 9, so the Broncos, also thanking their lucky stars, George Payton, his first year, former Vikings assistant to the regional general manager, getting Justin Fields. Well, not only do they have their choice of Justin Fields or Trey Lance, wow, It's amazing. And they're not sold on Drew Lock. George Payton did not inherit Drew Lock. That was a John Elway pick. And Elway says he's staying out of the way. We'll see. But Justin Fields with Pat Shurmur, I think that's a perfect hand-in-glove fit. And it might be a spot where Fangio's defense fails again, and they fire Fangio and then elevate Pat Shurmur for his third bite at the apple to be a head coach. But I can't think of a better OC. Well, I can think of a few, but Pat Shurmur and Justin Fields, that's a great fit. Plus, you have a great left tackle in Garrett Bowles, and you do have weapons. You got Noah Fant, you got Cortland Sutton, you got Jerry Jeudy, you got KJ Hamler time. So, yeah, it's a good landing spot for Justin Fields. 10. So the Cowboys, edge rusher, well, it's always good to have guys who can get the quarterback. Maybe they don't re-sign Alden Smith. DeMarcus Lawrence is a stud. Randy Gregory is, but you could go offensive line here, even though Slater's off the board. Well, I guess who do you go with, right? But cornerback, you have your choice. Caleb Farley is still there. Patrick Surtain is still there. But you're taking Gregory Rousseau, where he can play all along the defensive line. Maybe that's appealing to them. So get after it. 11, Giants. They have their choice of Waddle or Devontae. They go with the Heisman Trophy winner, where, I mean, Waddle's straight line speed, a lot of fun, and I think it may elevate him to going above Devontae, but Devontae is just a special player, man. He really is. Runs a complete route tree, is dynamic after the catch, and just is a tough dude. And so Devontae, target for Danny Dimes, see if he's going to be the guy in 2021, plus take some pressure off of Saquon. Let's go. 12. So the Niners, they could go with Trey Lance. They could. Or they could go with Jalen Waddle, just try and score 50 on everyone. But they take cornerback 1, Caleb Farley. Richard Sherman's going to leave in free agency, so replacing him with Caleb Farley, you don't have to move. I like it. 13. So the Chargers should go offensive line here, potentially AVT or Darisaw, but Waddle would be too tempting, and I understand it. Just getting another weapon for Justin Herbert, and you have Waddle, you have Keenan Allen, you have Mike Williams. Let's go Hunt. 14, Vikings. So in an analytics-driven draft, the Vikings still draft a guard. That's how bad the Vikings guard play was last year. But Elijah Vera Tucker, I understand that a lot of people are hyping up his tackle play. I think he's much better suited at guard, specifically left guard, and you can plug and play him right away. I get that it wouldn't be the sexiest pick in the world. It does seem like the Vikings are leaving some value on the table, but at the end of the day, they're going to get a starting caliber young left guard. I can't be mad at it, right? Even though Trey Lance is still on board, would be tough to pass him up. Christian Darisaw, I would prefer to AVT. Surtain is still on board. Barmore's still there. So, yeah. 15, the Patriots. No Pants or Trey Lance. Like, if you're the Patriots, like, how the hell does this happen? A, you have a needed quarterback, and then at 15, you don't have to trade up. No one leapfrogs you. Well, there's no trades in this mock, but you have your choice between Trey Lance and Mac Jones. Wow. So, Josh McDaniels and Belichick, they get their guy. No Pants or Trey Lance. It's a good spot for Trey Lance, especially if they do re-sign Cam, or if they do bring in a veteran quarterback like maybe an Alex Smith, or if it's tragic to be that bridge quarterback, let him get up to speed. I think is a really good spot for him. 16. Plus, the stank of having to replace Tom Brady is already off because the Patriots had such a booty 2020 season. 16, Cardinals picking up Christian Darisaw to watch Kyler Murray's ass. I like it. 17, Jason Owe. So the Raiders have been struggling on the edge. Clelin Ferrell, number 4 overall pick. Busto. So Jason Owe, betting on those traits, that's going to play extremely well in an analytics-driven mock. And yeah, Jason Owe, he could be the Danielle Hunter of this draft, where low college production, absolute physical freak, and yeah, just also there's low expectations with the Raiders. So, but him ahead of Azeez and Phillips, 18. So the Dolphins taking Jalen Phillips, heavy hands, edge rusher from Miami, stays on South Beach by way of UCLA. I do like this selection. The one drawback of Flores' defense last year, they couldn't get a consistent edge presence. They couldn't get a consistent edge rush, so Phillips is going to solve a lot of ills there. 19, so Washington, they have an opportunity to take Mac Jones here, but they go a different route. Patrick Surtain might be just too much value at this stage. They never really replaced Kendall Fuller, so adding him at cornerback on an already pretty solid defense makes sense. 20, so the Bears could go offensive line. Could go Mac Jones. Like, what the hell is going on? But they go wide receiver. Rondale Moore in this spot over Kadarius Toney. I understand it. They're probably going to lose Allen Robinson in free agency if they don't franchise tag him. I don't really see it happening. So you have Rondale Moore, who, West Lafayette, Indiana, some crossover or some regional awareness already built in. So Rondale Moore and Darnell Mooney, that's a really fun, fast wide receiver duo for Chicago, and I hate it. 21 Colts. So you would think they go offensive line here, but potentially they go O-line in free agency. Maybe they get Villanueva, the left tackle from Pittsburgh, in free agency, or maybe they trade for Riley Reef. I don't know. But taking J.C. Horn in this spot does make sense. Xavier Rhodes is leaving in free agency. And then you have J.C. Horn, Rocky Sin, and then Kenny Moore in the slot. That's a nice trio of cornerbacks for Chris Ballard and company. 22. So the Titans, generally it's been mocked edge or maybe even wide receiver since Corey Davis is probably going to leave. But Christian Barmore, wow. Barmore with Justin Simmons right next to each other, get some. And the Titans, respect, over the last, 15 years have always had a really nice defensive tackle duo. You look at Naquan, you look at Jarrell Casey, you look at Justin Simmons now. So, yeah. You look at Carl Klug back in the day. 23. Jets, Greg Newsome II. And since they took Penei Sewell, and you would think that they would get weapons for Sam Darnold, but Robert Saleh, defensive guru, he's a DB guy by trade, so getting your cornerback one. Greg Newsome has got the length, got that alpha ability, get some. 24. Steelers go offensive line, but wow. So Dylan Radunz, NDSU, the pride of Becker, Minnesota, comes off the board. Now, you can't fade his physical attributes. The kid is a phenomenal athlete. There is going to be a massive jump in competition, especially if they do put him at left tackle day one to replace Alejandro Villanueva. But we'll see, man. We'll see. I'm bullish on Radunz. I don't know if he'll go in the first round, but wow. 25. Jaguars. So they get Trevor Lawrence. They don't get him any weapons, but there's another side of the ball. Crazy. So Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, a joke. Wow. I do like this, especially in the AFC where you're facing so many good tight ends, especially so many good slot receivers. A joke is going to be that equalizer. Plus, hey, bartender, I'll take a Jack and Joke. Woo! Get some. 26. The Cleveland Browns. So they address safety again. They took Grant Delpit in the second round last year at LSU. Great coverage, safety towards Achilles in camp. Really unfortunate. But Trevor Moehrig, the best safety in this class. There has been some push. Maybe Richie Grant is up there. I'll still take Moehrig over Richie, even though I think Richie's a more well-rounded safety. But Moehrig, phenomenal in safety, is a true ball hawk. Now, is there too much crossover between Delpit and Moehrig? You just play two deep safeties all the time. That's fine. 27. The Ravens, potentially moving on from Orlando Brown, picking up Jalen Mayfield, right tackle out of Michigan. Just plop his ass into right tackle. If you do keep Orlando for a year, maybe tough things out. You can kick Mayfield into guard. 28. Taking Kadarius Toney, the Saints. So how are they passing on Mac Jones? Like, does Mac Jones even go in this draft? Oh my God, no, he doesn't. No, I cheated. But how do you pass on Mac Jones in the spot? Now, Kadarius Toney, I understand you're probably going to part ways with Manny Sanders, as well as maybe you'll trade Captain Slants. But wow. 29 Packers, Bateman. So it was insult to injury enough where they took Kamal Martin in the 5th round last year, the former Gopher linebacker. And now they're taking Rashad Bateman, who actually I think might go a little bit higher. Maybe he goes to the Bears at 20 because a big question about Bateman is his straight line speed. But then he clocked into 4.3940. So, box checked. But, yeah, this sucks. Bateman and Devontae Adams, that's a nice duo. 30. Buffalo Bills taking Tevin Jenkins. Wow. So they're probably going to lose Darrell Williams in free agency, 1-for-1 replacement. And if they hang on to Williams and then lose John Feliciano, you kick Jenkins into guard for a year. There you go. 31. So we talked about the Chiefs' offensive line. It's not as bad as the Super Bowl showed that it was due to injury as well as opt-outs. But Aziz replaced Santano Passano. Aziz and Frank Clark, that's a nice edge duo. 32, Levi Onwuzurike coming in and replacing Ndamukong Suh. Maybe they part ways with Golston as well, but they need some defensive tackle help in there as well. Dude's still on the board. Who? Mac Jones, Kyle Trask. Well, Kyle Trask, understandable, but Mac Jones, I'm not the biggest Mac Jones fan in the world, but I still think that he will go first round, especially a lot of teams needing quarterbacks. I don't think he gets by Washington or Pittsburgh, or definitely not the Saints, but it's kind of crazy. In an analytics-driven mock, Mac Jones, even for all the numbers he put up in college, I think that he is denigrated because of the talent around him, as well as he doesn't have all the physical metrics that you want in a quarterback. No running backs, of course, analytics, so no Najee, no Etienne. Terrace Marshall Jr., Elijah Moore, no go. Freiermuth, no. Offensive line, Leatherwood, Cosme, Dickerson, Davis, no matter what, also on the board. And Boogie Basham, where there's a handful of edge rushers who went. Could Basham work his way in there? Maybe. Joe Tryan's been getting some steam. Joseph Asai, I feel like he's fell off a little bit, but he's going to be a high day 2 pick. Zaven Collins didn't get in. No Moses, no Bolton, no Campbell, no Samuel, and Jevon Holland, no go. Morrig is the only safety who went. But if this is how it went down for the Vikings, and they still take AVT, I understand it. It would be extremely tough, and it would be a good trade down spot if Trey Lance is still on board, especially with the Patriots just lurking there like a mortician with the ether. Just, yeah. So, again, no trades in this mock, but this would be a prime trade down spot. But AVT, I get it. Not sexy. I think a lot of fans would be upset with the pick, but he's a tough kid. He's a really good player. 14, a little bit high. Maybe, but you're not going to get him at 78, that's for sure. So barring a trade down or a trade up, you're going to pass on this kid just because he doesn't fit with your big board. Now, plop his ass in at left guard day 1. You have a rock-solid starter for the foreseeable future, and you check that box. So just get that done. But your thoughts, Cynthia Frelund's analytics-driven mock draft version 1.0. Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support that work, post on the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.